Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. When Sri Krishna studied life, studied Sanatana Dharma, he did this in a controlled environment. In our devotional course, we just explored how he was at Rishi Sandipani's ashram. Yet, when Sri Krishna taught about life, taught Sanatana Dharma, where did he do this? In Kurukshetra, in conflict. I'm sharing this with you because I'm enjoying the context of what we're studying and how we're studying. All of us are in conflict with the coronavirus, indirectly, directly. And if you look around, everyone is getting ready for their responsibilities, whether it's preparing for a meeting or going to school, tending to children. This is how Sri Krishna taught Prince Arjuna, and Sri Krishna is teaching us in the same way. As we complete chapter 1, a question for all of you, and this summarizes most of chapter 1. What is the difference between sacrifice and compromise? Share with me, what is the difference between sacrifice and compromise? Sacrifice is when you hold on to the higher, and that demands that you let go of the lower. Compromise, you hold on to the lower, and that demands that you let go of the higher. Prince Arjuna is confused about what is higher and what is lower. In his moha, his default has been to hold on to the lower. This summarizes what Prince Arjuna is feeling and saying. Coming back to how we began this chapter. Scene 1, Shloka 1, Dhritarashtra is speaking. He's asking Sanjaya, what happened in Kurukshetra? We fast forward to scene 5, verse 47. Sanjaya has been describing what's happening, and now he summarizes. Chapter 1, verse 47. Sanjaya uvacha evam uktva Arjuna sankhye ratopasta upavishat visrijya sasharam chapam shoka samvignya manasaha. Sanjaya shares. Evam uktva Arjunaha sankhye. In the middle of this conflict, Arjuna said, and the majority of chapter 1, it is Prince Arjuna feeling and speaking. Dhritarashtra asks, what happened? This is what happened. Ratopasta upavishat, and he sat down in his chariot. The charioteer is to be sitting down, not the warrior. Visrijya sasharam chapam, and he let go from his hands the arrows, his bow. Shoka samvignya manasaha, and his mind was afflicted with shoka, which is sorrow. What this verse is again summarizing, Prince Arjuna from verse 20, when he stands up, picks up his bow, and begins to speak to Sri Krishna. Put my chariot between both armies. And the Prince Arjuna in verse 47 are completely different. In verse 20, worldly confidence. In verse 47, that worldly confidence has cracked. At an action level, he is sat down. At a speech level, he's dropped his arrows and bow. That's how Prince Arjuna communicates. He's a warrior. At a mind level, shoka. He is sad. The worldly confidence devolving to sadness. In between all of this, confusion, moha. I shared that with all of you, the difference between sacrifice and compromise. When one is confused, one becomes afraid. That is bhaya. Ask someone who's trying to write an exam and they're confused about the question or the answer. If that confusion is not checked, it turns into fear. One starts to panic. If that's not checked, it turns into sadness. Prince Arjuna has gone through the same. We have now completed the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And I'm feeling a lot of kritakritya. Kritakritya means completing what is to be completed. With kritakritya, you can rest. You can rest. I know I can't rest, but you can rest. And what's lovely about what we've done is follow through. So much of our fast-moving world and fast-moving lives, follow through has become weaker and weaker and weaker. Continuing with one's promises, one's determination. Between the age of 0 and 23, what one should be trained in is vrata, or commitment. And we've done that together. Looking through my notes, Swami Tejomayananda taught us all of chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita in 6 days. 47 verses in 6 days. We've taken 47 mornings for these 47 verses. Naturally, tomorrow we will begin chapter 2. However, at the end of every chapter of Bhagavad Gita, an addition has been included. This addition traditionally has been attributed to Madhusudana Saraswati, a great lover of Sri Krishna and Bhagavad Gita. I showed you my thick commentary by Madhusudana Saraswati. This addition is known as a Sankalpa Vakya. Sankalpa Vakya. This is not part of the 700 verses. This is an addition. It's a tradition. Sankalpa means, in a lower sense, a summary. This is the summary of chapter 1, of chapter 2. In a higher sense, it is a promise one takes for oneself that they will live what was taught in that chapter. Vakya means speech or words. I'll read this for you. You can read along too in your own commentaries. Om Tat Sat Iti Shrimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama Pratamodhyayaha. The first two lines don't change in all 18 Sankalpa Vakyas. Respecting your time, I will only share a little bit about the beginning. In chapter 2, I'll explain more. Chapter 3, more. Om Tat Sat. Om is the expression of infinity or independent joy. Here, the contents of chapter 1 are being equated to Om. So all 47 verses, what are they? Tat Sat. This is the truth. What was shared in chapter 1 is the truth. Is the truth in the highest sense that these words came from Sri Krishna. In a lower sense, all of the psychological changes in Prince Arjuna, this is reality. We can all relate to this. The contents of chapter 1, where were they found? Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu, in the divine song of Sri Krishna. Naturally, this chapter 1 is in Bhagavad Gita. I've already explained what Srimad means and Bhagavad means and Gita. And Bhagavad Gita, the contents of these 18 chapters, where are they contained? What is their source? Upanishatsu, the Upanishad. Upanishad we often attribute to being a book, like the one you have in your hands. Upanishad is more so an intention or vision. Upa means near. Like my glasses are called upanetra. They're near my eyes. Ni, some people say means below, but the more philosophical meaning means nishchaya. To be near with determination. The commitment, the promise that I've been describing. And shat in a physical sense means sit. Sit near and below one you can learn from, one you respect. See how this is more of a feeling then? But shat also means to destroy. And one is near one who is independently joyous. With determination, we want to destroy our dependent joy. We want to evolve from the lower parts of who we are, the indiscipline, the indulgence, etc. That's the first line. Chapter 1 is the truth. This truth is contained within Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita's source is the Upanishad, which is the feeling of, I'm tired of being tired. I want to be, I need to be independently joyous. From inspiration to application, a recent application was, when did you engage in being actively resistant to evil? And why? Do share. My observation here, you did this because it was good for others. You didn't do it for yourself, but you knew that evil would harm the people you care about, so you stood up for them. Agreed? Prince Arjuna's not doing that. Your application for this morning, dependability is one of the greatest characteristics of a relationship. Family, friends, coworkers, dependability. share 3 ways. I want you to reflect and share 3 ways where you can become more dependable. How can you become more dependable? Nishchaya, sankalpa, follow through. Shanti, shanti, shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.